guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, you're going to get a bit of a double dose of time to go. Today we're going to be looking at, first of all, the Omega Speedmaster. This is one of the Michael Schumacher limited editions. I got this back from service about 2 weeks ago, and I've been wearing it basically 24/7 ever since, and I'm really loving it. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Now, the second part of the video, we're going to be doing an unboxing video, and I actually made this purchase, funny enough, because of the purchase of the Speedmaster, and I'll explain that to you guys once we get to that part of the video. So with that being said, let's spin the camera around and take a closer look at the Omega Speedmaster. Okay guys, so let's start this off by just going through some of the basic specs of the watch. First of all, the reference number for this watch, if anybody is interested, it's 3559.32.00. Now, the case diameter on this watch is 42 millimeters. Lug to lug, we're looking at 48 mils. Lug width is 20 millimeter, and we have a thickness of 14 millimeters. So also the water resistance on this watch is 100 millimeters. Now the thickness is partially to do with the domed sapphire crystal. As you can see, I'll bring the watch in a little closer. It's got quite a large dome to it, so it doesn't look as thick as a typical 14 millimeter watch, but It is, and by the way, I just love that dome sapphire crystal. Now let's start this off by talking about the dial, which is probably the main reason I ended up deciding to pick up this particular Speedmaster. I just love Panda dials, and I'd never actually owned one, so as soon as I saw this, I just fell in love. The dial has a bit of a creamy color to it. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up or not, but it gives it a nice vintage look. Obviously, we have the 3 black subdials. As well, there is a nice little pop of red in the outer chaptering, as well as where it's written Speedmaster, which I thought was really nice. Now, as far as the subdials, what's happening here is at 3 o'clock, we have the minute counter for the chronograph. At 6, we have the hour counter, and at 9 o'clock, we have the running seconds hand. And also, there's a date wheel, which is a black on black date wheel at the 6 o'clock position, which makes it nice and subtle. It doesn't jump out at you, and I really like that. One other thing to note with the dial is the lume. There's a little tiny bit of lume on the tip of each one of these stainless steel applied hour markers. There's also lume on the hour minute hand, as well as the second hand for the chronograph. And it's running strong. This watch is probably about 12 years old, 13 years old, and it's very bright. At the end of the video, I'll share a lume shot with you guys. So let's just fire up the chronograph for a second. Now, this watch is housing an Omega Caliber 3301 movement. That is a chronograph column wheel movement, and it's COSC certified. I just got it back from the service, and they did an accuracy test, and it was gaining on average about 2.3 seconds per day, which I'm very happy with. Since I've had it home for the last couple of weeks, I would say that's about right in around 3 to 4 seconds per day that it's been gaining. Closer to 3 though. So let's just stop and reset. And I just love how the second hand just snaps back to the 12 o'clock position. So moving out from the dial, we see that the watch has a tachymeter, something that I'll likely never use. It's used for measuring speed or distance. And again, I'll probably never use that function, but it looks really cool. Now, as far as the finishing of the case goes, it is mostly polished other than on the sides here and here. The rest has a very nice polish. I love the twisted lugs. I think they look just beautiful. And the case is a little bit asymmetrical, and I believe the purpose of that is to protect the crown and the pushers. It comes out a little bit further on this side than it does on this side where it's flush with the bezel. So if we flip this watch over, you are going to see the Michael Schumacher, the legend. This is a limited edition watch, limited to 6,000 pieces. You'll also see a beautifully engraved Speedmaster logo. Now, this watch came about in 2004 after Schumacher had won his 6th title in 2003, and this watch commemorates that for Michael Schumacher. I'm not an F1 fan or a Schumacher fan particularly, but I definitely respect his career. Also, I just want to point out, while we're at this part of the watch, the pushers and the crown, they are all polished. The crown has a nice Omega logo signed on it. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the bracelet. I absolutely love this bracelet, and it's probably the most comfortable bracelet I've ever owned. It is 5 links wide, so we have the brushed links as well as these very thin inner polished links. It's just beautiful. I love the look of the bracelet on this. It's also got this neat little curve this way that I just like the look of. It looks great on wrist, and again, it is very comfortable. Now, the clasp, which you see here is signed Omega Speedmaster, is also very well built and very well finished as well. It is a 2-button deployment clasp, and it is solid metal. It's not stamped. This is machined metal, stainless steel here. Very solid and, again, very comfortable. All right, so let's take a look at it on wrist. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, it looks awesome. Again, the bracelet is just so comfortable. I really don't have anything bad to say about this watch. I was doing a little digging online, and I found some people that had issues with the 3301 caliber movement. Apparently it's mostly with older ones, and this is from 2004. So I don't have any issues with it at all, but I did hear that there had been issues with this movement. That's the only bad thing that I kind of have to say about it, and I haven't experienced anything bad with it yet. So other than that, this thing is just awesome. I really love it, and it's definitely a keeper for me. Now, let's move over to the unboxing part of this video. Okay, I'm really excited about this one. Oh, you can see that it's a Bulova. Ooh. It's a lot nicer box than the Bulovas I've had in the past, that's for sure. It is the Bulova Moonwatch. Really cool. Really nice finished case, actually. It's got a really cool kind of a carbon fiber looking strap. Now, the reason that I ended up getting this watch, there's some information on why it's the Moonwatch, who wore it and when they wore it on the moon. The reason I kind of ended up purchasing this watch is I'd always wanted a Speedmaster Moonwatch, and that was sort of on the list of watches to get. When I ended up finding the Schumacher, though, I just fell head over heels for it. I love it, and I don't see myself having 2 Speedmasters, and I kind of feel like I like the Schumacher a little more than the Moonwatch. I just love the Panda dial, but this allows me to sort of scratch the itch of a Moonwatch without the price tag, so that's why I ended up getting this. So also in here we have a second strap. I believe that's the date of the mission, and I'll do a little bit more research on this watch before I go into any detail, and we'll do definitely a full review of the Bulova Moonwatch. So also we have the tool to, the spring bar tool here as well, which is kind of neat. I think somewhere in this box, here let's actually pull it out. I think somewhere in here is some information. So there's a warranty card here, certificate of authenticity actually. the instructions. And I think this is, yeah, some of the history behind the Bull of the Moon watch. So I'm going to go through all of that and do a full review here in a few days. Let's just try it on here real quick before we spin the camera back around to wrap this up. Okay, here we go. So it's a little, just a touch bigger than what I was expecting. The case is really cool. The finish is, it must be a bead blasting or something. It's not brushed at all, but it has that matte look, and I love the look of it. The strap also looks really cool. The pushers for the chronograph, everything, it's got a really unique look to it. It has that, it feels almost like the look of a Speedmaster moon watch, but it's got definitely its own cues when it comes to style for sure. So that's going to be it though for today's video. I will do a full review of the Bull of the Moon watch very soon. Let's take it back to the desk and we'll wrap this up. Okay guys, so that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun putting it together for you guys. Also, just a quick update. I just earlier today started my first Instagram account. I can be found at TimeToGo 1978. I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested in following me. Also, just remember to keep an eye out for my Bull of the Moon watch full review. That'll be coming out very soon. Thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.